to our Principles of Potential series. Today we're going to be talking about the subject of marriage and maximizing some of the potential in our marriage by looking in the book of Genesis chapter 2. This is where we find really the first beginning instructions about understanding one another and also building a successful relationship. We're going to look at one of these principles in Genesis chapter 2, verse 24. This is where God says, "Therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined or cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh." You know, there's a Hebrew word here. It's very interesting in that it's translated the word join, which is fine, or cleave to. It has the idea of stick to or stick close to his wife. A man shall leave his father and mother and stick close to, cleave with his wife. You know, in Botswana, for example, we have a foundational problem that often happens where a man can stay several hours away from his wife for work reasons. And we know that this many times is a recipe of disaster for a marriage, is to not get enough time with one another where they're actually with each other, sticking close to each other. But the word itself means much more than this. It means to keep pursuing or keep capturing or keep pursuing to overtake. The idea is God is saying to the man, I'm giving you this woman, and I want you to understand something about having a successful relationship with her. You need to understand that there's a dynamic that happens in your relationship if you keep pursuing her, if you keep capturing her, if you keep overtaking her. And so the idea is that, when what comes natural to a man before marriage, God is telling man to be purposeful about continuing it after marriage. You know, no one had to tell me to pursue Mary. You know, when I decided that that's the one I wanted, the pursuit was on. I was out to capture her, to make her my own, to make her my wife. And so, you know, I found myself doing things, which at the time were not really things that I had done very often. I started writing poetries, love notes, letters, talking on the phone for a long time, which was not, natural to me. I would even drive to her house at night on a motorcycle in cold weather because why? The pursuit was on. I wanted to make her my own. And what happened to me, which happens to a lot of men, is after the wedding day, when we have made her what we think our own, we go on and begin to pursue other things and sometimes lose sight of this God-given assignment and this God-given recipe for having a healthy relationship. God is telling us, keep pursuing this woman after she's your wife. Keep overtaking her. Keep making her feel special. Because, even in this passage it says, "And the man shall be joined to his wife, shall cleave or pursue or capture or overtake his wife, and the two shall become one flesh." What God is saying is even the intimate relationship is built on this pursuit. In other words, as you make this woman feel special, it creates a warmth, a dynamic in your relationship, which even leads to fulfillment in your intimate life. And so, I found as a pastor that sometimes when that man finds that special lady and she's given him the right to pursue her and he's doing that, there's this energy pulling them together. And you have to say to premarital couples, be careful because there's this dynamic pulling you together. There's this warmth. There's this, some people call it chemistry. There's this chemistry in your relationship to pull you sometimes to awaken love in an intimate way before it's time. And so you have to be careful of that. But what God is saying is, I want to create this chemistry and this thing in your life so that there's a point when you don't have to be careful about it. You can let the fires burn in your intimate relationship because why? The pursuit is ongoing. The woman continues to feel special. And often when a woman does feel pursued and special and overtaken in this way, she automatically, again, sometimes gives man the very thing that he wants, this admiration and praise and respect. And, there's this dynamic, and the cycle of their marriage is spun in a proper way it keeps getting stronger and better and so forth. But when our parts begin to dissipate, sometimes the marriage can begin to cycle in the wrong way. You know, when I stopped pursuing Mary and went on to pursuing, being a great missionary or, a great minister, and kind of lost sight of my primary assignment, or one of my primary assignments from God, is it created an unhealthy dynamic in our relationship, and a coldness entered our relationship, which wasn't there before. But the good news is, and the scriptures are full of good news, hallelujah. The good news is that when you begin to do things God's way, it can create life. Jesus said, I've come to give you life and life more abundantly. And he does this through giving us his words, giving us his principles, God giving us his principles. He's saying, now keep pursuing this woman, keep capturing her. There's something that also makes life worth living when we're doing things according to God's way. In other words, we can actually jumpstart our own heart as men by saying, you know what, I'm going to pursue this woman. I'm going to make her feel special. And when we begin to do that, when we go out and maybe, get something or write a little note or whatever, it also helps us to begin to have those feelings again if we've lost them in any way. And for sure, if you stay with it, it will also begin to move her in this relationship back towards you. Hallelujah. The world recognizes this isn't just, once a year. It says, it's Valentine's Day. Hey, wake up. Do something special. Make her feel like she's your princess again. And we do this. Sometimes we plan a romantic evening out or a dinner, or, we make her feel special. Maybe we go out and buy a gift or so forth. And we see the twinkle come back into the eye, and we feel the energy coming back into our relationship, and how wonderful we can have sometimes for, sometimes even a few days afterwards. But if we disappear again in our pursuit, we'll find that this warmth that was created will begin also to dissipate. And basically what God is saying is, live a lifestyle of Valentine's Day. Live a lifestyle of making her feel special. Live a lifestyle and the benefits that will come to you as you unlock the potential in your relationship. Sometimes people make the mistake, we've just fallen out of love, or we just don't feel the same way we used to feel. Your feelings you can generate them by your actions. By you doing what God says, feelings will follow right behavior. And as you begin to do things the way God says, you begin to find that these feelings are coming back, and sometimes stronger than ever. And there's a level of increase that comes when we do things God's way. In other words, God is not just saying, I want to bring you back to the days in which you dated. He's saying, I want to bring you beyond that. I want to make this even more special. So what do? Keep pursuing your wife. Keep capturing her. Keep making her your own. I know many pastors, in doing leadership meetings and even some different countries over the year. I had an opportunity to do this at one time. I could just see the light going on in their mind, as, now I realize, what is going wrong. One of the things is I have been so busy pursuing other things that I have forgot about pursuing my wife, capturing my wife. And ladies need to realize that this is not natural for a man to know to do this. Sometimes ladies are very puzzling. They said, you have a conversation. The man says, just tell me what to do. Because why? He doesn't really know. And the woman will say, you should just know. Well, he doesn't know. And so God is saying, Rob, I know you don't know to do this, so I'm going to tell you to do it. Keep pursuing her. Keep capturing her. Keep making her your own. And I found, the wonderful benefits that can come with this. But I also recognize that there's something in me as a man, because it's not natural to also let it slide. I have to remind myself. I have to go back. And, I begin to recognize sometimes that, when certain things are happening in our relationship, I can, I have lost sight of Mary in my pursuit. And I need to wake up again and be that man that she wanted to marry, and even better than that. And so I want to encourage you, if you have laid aside this principle and potential as a man, maybe some wives are listening to this and saying, I'm going to try to get my husband to see this because I can see that, this would really help us. Whatever it is, may God richly bless you as you begin to pursue, to capture, and to pursue the principle of pursuit. May God richly bless you. We look forward to being together with you and our next time as we look at principles of potential.